Hello? Is it the east of England you're looking for? Then you've come to the right place for some real Eastern Promise. I'm Mike Rigby, and welcome to Eastern Promise, the podcast that explores the full potential of the east of England. This week, we return to the foodie centre of the region, at Honingham in Norfolk. Fielding Cottage isn't just a quaint holiday home, it's also the home of the Goat Shed, a multi-award-winning business built around sharing the best produce Norfolk has to offer, from human and goat alike. We'll hear the Goat Shed story from its founder, Sam Steggles. But that's not all. We'll also hear from the recent Agri-Tech e-showcase at Eastern College in Norfolk on the opportunities to bring space tech and agri-tech together. And finally, you share the spots where you've unearthed hidden treasure in our region. Let's find out what you found and where in this week's CROWDSOURCERY. But first, here's the latest news from across the east of England. I'm devoting the news roundup this week to the Norwich Science Festival, which is currently in full swing. 4 days of fun and discovery have already been completed, but don't worry if you missed anything, because there's a packed programme of events and exhibitions still to come. Thursday the 16th of February is the festival's dedicated Chemistry, Physics and Astronomy Day, and I'm honour bound to start with a talk by Robin Milton, founder of Fairer Games, who will be giving a talk on games development careers for marginalised genders at the auditorium in the Forum in Norwich from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Robin was Eastern Promise's first guest of 2023, and I can't speak for anyone else, but I thoroughly enjoyed talking to her about gaming, game development, and how having a diverse creative team makes games better. You can find my interview with Robin on the Eastern Promise feed on your podcast provider of choice, and I urge you to go along to her talk if you can. Robin is an insightful and brilliant speaker. It's a free event, but you must book first via the Norwich Science Festival website, norwichsciencefestival.co.uk. It's half-term week, of course, which means working from home has by now become much less appealing. However, if your little darlings are techie types, then help is at hand. Step Into Tech are holding a 2-day hackathon for young people aged 8 to 18, kicking off at 9 a.m. on Thursday the 16th of February. The Techathon lets young people explore the possibilities of technology in an informal and creative environment, learning to explore, experiment and collaborate to take on a challenge. Sponsored by Aviva, Norwich University of the Arts and Norfolk County Council, the Techathon promises to be a fun-packed event with the opportunity to learn new skills, make friends, meet experts, and even win prizes. For any additional queries, email hello@stepintotech.org. The event is being held at Norwich School and costs £10 for both days. To book, go to stepintotechathon.org. Meanwhile, on Friday the 18th of February, the University of East Anglia invites you to use your creative voice to fight climate change with the Voices UEA project. The ground floor of Norwich's amazing Millennium Library is the place to see the Voices UEA exhibition and make poetry and plasticine insects for stop-motion animation with Voices UEA students from science and creative writing. You'll explore how insects are in danger of becoming extinct due to habitat loss caused by climate change, as well as celebrating the importance of insects for a healthy planet. It's a free drop-in event running from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. again on Friday the 18th of February. Also focused on the impact of climate change is the Climate Mural for Our Times, a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Climatic Research Unit at the University of East Anglia. This 10-metre-long painting by Gennady Ivanov depicts global climate change over 66 million years, set in a local context, past, present and future. It shows how climate is woven into geology and history, and all decisions taken globally and locally, now and in the future. It's being displayed in the debating chamber at Norwich City Hall as a reminder to Norwich's elected representatives that every decision taken is about the environment of present and future citizens. You can join a free tour from the steps of City Hall on the hour at noon, 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. No booking is required. Lastly, on the final day of the Science Festival, Professor Mark Searcy, Chair of Medicinal Chemistry and Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Science at the University of East Anglia, wants us all to spare a thought for single-celled organisms. Because it's a tough life, only having one cell in an organism-eat-organism world. That's because bacteria are masters of coming up with novel ways to kill each other. They produce molecules that chop up the DNA in other organisms, molecules that gum up the processes of cell division, and molecules that are so toxic, one or two of them can cause death. Kinda like my aftershave. Devious little buggers. Mark is on hand to tell us how these incredibly nasty molecules can be turned into drugs that can kill a cancer without poisoning the patient. In short, how we get from bugs protecting themselves to drugs protecting us. Now, if you want to back our bug buddies, then you need to be at the Vernon Castle Room in the Millennium Library at the Forum in Norwich from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m, again on Saturday, the 18th of February, 2023. It's a free event, though you will need to book your place. For more details and to book your ticket, go to norwichsciencefestival.co.uk, and you can find out more details about this and all the events that are still to come. I have just scratched the surface of what's on offer, and I apologise to everyone I haven't mentioned. Please do visit the website for a full lineup of the remaining days of the festival, norwichsciencefestival.co.uk. And that's all, folks. Send your news stories to newsdesk@easternpromise.site. Winning awards by the boatload, or should that be goatload? No, it shouldn't, no. Has been the Goat Shed at Honingham, just to the west of Norwich. Is it a goat farm and award-winning cheesemaker? A farm shop? A cafe restaurant, cheesemaking school, holiday destination, and, seasonally, a Christmas market? Well, the answer is yes, and yes. Invited by founder and entrepreneur Sam Steggles to come and see the Goat Shed for myself, I found myself making the journey up to Honingham to find out more on a blisteringly hot July day.
Welcome to the Goat Shed.
Describe this for me, because we've seen Rosemary's at the back there. There's the Goat Shed kitchen to our right. We've got freezers, fridges, lots of Norfolk's own kettle chips.
Yeah, so this is the Goat Shed is Norfolk's farm shop. Mm-hmm. So our vision and values is creating smiles through food, farming and family.
Love it, yeah.
We want to showcase, and we are showcasing, the very best of Norfolk and beyond. Mm-hmm. So we've got all the very best Norfolk producers in here, and we're wanting more as well. So on the display here, ready for Norfolk Day in 10 days' time. Excellent. We've got local beers, our own Goat Herder beer.
I was going to ask about that. So talk to me about Goat Herder.
Goat Herder. So Goat Herder is an amber ale brewed exclusively for us by Winters, and it's just a lovely ale. It's a real session ale. And then we've got the Norfolk teas, the Nor chocolates, the granolas, Norwich porridges, all the oils from Crush, just Bullard's gins, apple juices, any Norfolk produce, we want to showcase it. It's really what we're all about.
That's fantastic.
And then it goes on. We've got sort of 75% of our suppliers are from Norfolk, which we're really proud about.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's it's something that has grown out of lockdown and grown through COVID, and it has just taken off really.
Really, I mean, it does. I think it gives the place a lovely feel. You've created, I think, this really, local shop feel, but with such. I mean, Cheeky Nibble. I've seen that on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Cheeky Nibble, local brand. You've got Norwich porridge as well, and Free From, very important. And good selection there. Then you created a really nice local feel, but in a very sort of feeling a very high end establishment. I mean,
I think it's, and we had we were very fortunate that we had the opportunity to build it during COVID. So we built it with space in mind. We listened to our customers and we listened to what they were asking us for, and they've been on this journey with us.
Yeah.
And we're indebted to them for supporting us through all of this. And this is what they've asked us for.
Yeah.
And we've delivered it.
I mean, it sounds like, and not to repeat what you've said, it sounds like you deriving a lot of inspiration from that customer demand, that customer, could you do this? Will you do that?
100%. You said yourself earlier when we were talking about the cottages and the cheese making courses, about how you'd read in the EDP that you seized the opportunity and run with it. Well, that's exactly what we did here, seized the opportunity and ran.
Sorry, so what's Rosemary's?
Rosemary's. So Rosemary's is our larder.
Yeah.
So this is where we're full of local cheeses and cheeses from further afield. Our fruit and veg sits in here as well. And again, on a day like today, it's lovely to have a walk-in fridge.
Ah, yes.
Larder
Definitely.
to be able to go into. So
yes.
We've got Mrs. Temple's cheeses here. We've got Johnny Crickmore's butter, the Bungay butter, and Ben Farm cheeses, and then we've got the Norfolk White Lady cheeses, as well as some from further afield, the Cheddar Gorge Cheese Company, but not forgetting our very own Norfolk Marblets.
In pride of place, quite right.
Wensum Whites as well.
And you've got the Goat Shed Sticky Figgy Chutney.
Oh,
that looks nice. I just want a barrel of crackers now. And there's one.
A whole range of...
yes, you've got a whole range. Piccalilli, tomato and onion marmalade. Oh, sorry, feeling hungry already. I've only just had lunch. Marsh pig. So, yeah, and fruit, vegetables. Because I remember you, and we'll come on to this perhaps depending on when we've edited, we may have said this already or be about to say it, but you talking about all the things that people asked you to provide in lockdown, or you seized those opportunities. You were seizing the opportunities from consumer demand. We're sort of coming back to that theme, but it was for a wide range of stuff, wasn't it? Because perhaps we should go somewhere and you can tell me the story about...
Yeah, well, let's go next door.
Yeah.
And let's go into where we started. The original goat shed is the little wooden shed the other side of the car park.
Uh-huh.
But then when we outgrew that, we moved into here. So this is where we moved into. So to give you an idea of the story itself, we were in the little wooden shed in the car park. Lockdown. COVID hit. Actually, I was the other side of the world. I started my. So let's rewind a bit, shall we? I was fortunate enough to be awarded a Nuffield Farming Scholarship, where I wished to go and research the journey to maturity, navigating sustainable food business growth. So I wanted to research and look into how businesses had grown substantially but sustainably, with a particular emphasis on people and how they recruited and retained the right people to build a fantastic team, and then how they did that in tricky economical and political times. So I got my scholarship, and then I jumped on a plane on a Sunday morning in March, and took off to Australia to go to the Contemporary Scholars Conference in Brisbane. So I had 4 nights in Brisbane, and then had some phone calls to say that the cheese business was losing customers because airlines weren't flying and national pub chains were closing, and the country was slowly coming to a halt. So we lost 90% of our cheese business overnight. We had to refund 100% of our holiday cottage bookings, as well as 100% of our cheesemaking course bookings. And at that point we got on a plane, or I got on a plane and flew home. By the time I got home, it was Sunday lunchtime. So I'd circumnavigated the world in 7 days, and all I had to show for it really was a haircut in Brisbane.
Yeah.
Got home and we had no orders, we had no businesses, so it was a fairly terrifying time. We had a small team of people that we still wanted and needed to support. So we had our little wooden shed in the car park, and people kept coming in and asking for stuff that they couldn't get. Could we get bread? Yeah, we can get you some bread. So phoned up and found some bread. And then my wife phoned up and said, you can't get toilet rolls in the supermarket, there's no toilet rolls. So I was, right, okay. So I managed to go and buy a whole load of toilet rolls.
Yeah.
And came in. So people were coming to buy toilet rolls, and then flour. You couldn't buy bags of flour or yeast anywhere. We managed to secure a supply of flour and yeast, and people were coming, and we then moved into here on one Friday morning. So the following Friday, so less than a week after being home from Australia, we moved in here, and we turned these potato boxes upside down and put some boards on top.
Yeah.
And developed a farm shop in here. Then people would come in and ask if we could get meat or oil or fish or whatever it may be. So we then gradually swept it out and kept moving it backwards and backwards and backwards.
Yeah.
And it grew. Then people asked if we would continue to do it once COVID was over. So we said, well, if you support us, we will. And they said they would, so we kept our side of the bargain and built the proper goat shed as it is now. And it's taken off there, so we can now.
It certainly has.
We can now really do what we set out to do in those early days, and that is support the local community, support the local producers, but put smiles on people's faces day in, day out, whilst doing that, and being true to our roots. We'll go and have a look out here, and we'll show you our cottages.
Ah, yes.
Out into the sunshine. So yeah, just here we've got the holiday cottages, which we built a few years ago to help when people were asking if they could learn how to make cheese.
Oh, right,
when the dairy industry was on its knees, people were asking us if we could teach them how to make cheese. So we could, but it's not a 2-minute process, as you've just seen.
No, it's not.
So we needed to have an area to put people up.
Yeah.
So we managed to get some grant funding to help us build these.
Absolutely.
To give people the opportunity to come and stay, learn how to make cheese and add value to their milk, and then double up as holiday cottages when we weren't running cheese making courses.
Absolutely. So there's clearly.
So there's 3 cottages.
Yeah.
And we can sleep up to 10 people in them, which is great. And as you can see, you've got the hot tub and the big garden.
It's a lovely big garden, yeah.
For people to kick a football around or play in. It's great.
One of the things I found inspiring about your story was, and I read this and I've got to give a hat tip here to the Eastern Daily Press, was a comment you made about it might not necessarily be the direction you want to take your business, but when the demand is there, you seize the opportunity and you run with it. And I think that was quite an inspiring thought for me, in that you hadn't thought of, like you say, is that right? You hadn't thought of running courses on cheese making, but the demand just came up and you grabbed the opportunity and you ran with it. Absolutely,
100%. Yeah. We had no plan to teach people how to do it. We were just getting on and making cheese ourselves from the goat's milk, and then when the opportunity came, we grasped it with both hands and carried on, a little bit like the goat shed, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's it's about, what was it, £250,000. I read again in the Eastern Daily Press while sort of researching this, and it's a lovely venue inside. It really is. You know, there's lots of, sort of high-end, high-quality produce and a fantastic cafe. And I'm not saying that because I'm standing here talking to you, because I have actually been in there as just a regular punter and had an excellent cup of coffee. So yeah. So what do you see next? Because they're little lovely little cottages and what do you want to show us now?
Let's go this way and look at the farm shop.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're walking past, you can see the goats on the way in. There they are over there, just under the trees.
They're very wisely sticking to the
in the shade.
This is the heart of the cheese making operation.
So this is where it all happens. Yeah, this is the cheese vat and the presses and the mills and everything here. So as you can see, the cheese in the moulds here has just been put through the mill, had its salt added, and the curd is now going to be formed and pressed, and it will go into the press for 2 or 3 days, and then it will come out and go into the fridge to mature.
So what varieties of these you have here?
So the one that we can see here in front of us, this is Norfolk Mardler. Mm-hmm. So this is our matured waxed cheese. This will be matured for a number of weeks, and then it will come out in that bright yellow wax with the green sticker on the front in true Norwich City colours.
Excellent.
So yeah, and then we've got Wensum White through this door here. So Wensum White is our goat's milk brie, if you like.
Yeah.
So this will end up with the white rind on the outside. So you can see in here how they're already shrinking. The whey is leaving them.
Yeah, these look like sort of, for the listener at home, this looks like sort of very large ice cube moulds on orange racks. But lovely looking goat's cheese. The smell is incredible, isn't it? It's if you're like me and you love goat's cheese, this is a fantastic smell. So what's the process with these now, Sam?
So with these, this was milk this morning, and now
just this morning.
Yeah, so this was milk this morning, and then the curd is what we're left with here. The whey you can see is draining off, it dripping off here. So later this afternoon, these will get turned.
Right.
And then tomorrow morning they'll have salt put in them and go through the salting process. Then they'll go on some racks. These racks here to grow its white mould. So the cheese will grow its white mould from the inside to the outside, and then that's how we get the furriness on the outside.
Ah, gotcha.
And then they'll get wrapped and go into the fridges to mature, and the reverse will happen. The cheese will go gooey from the outside in, so we will end up with that chalkiness in the centre. That over time that will disappear.
Right. So you say this was milked this morning. How many times, a week, a day, does this happen? I mean, you must have a lot of sort of a constant sort of flow of cheese. Well, you have to, I suppose. So
yeah, it's a constant process, and for us, it depends on what type of cheese we need to make at that time of week or day or year, month. So it really does depend. So we've made about 1,000 of these little Wensum Whites today.
Right.
And that will be all of those that we'll make in this batch. And the Norfolk Mardler, we've made about 400 kilos of Norfolk Mardler today. And then that will just repeat. And as our orders pick up towards the summer, because goat's cheese is great on salads.
Oh, yes, it is indeed.
And the like. So then those numbers may change a bit. We may find that we need to make more Wensum White in a batch. So we'll then use all of these moulds over here.
Yeah, there's lots more moulds behind us, yeah. Wow. And so what are these? This is sort of like, you'd put a small but tired footballer in these sort of metal bats in front of us. Yeah, so what are they? They're obviously cheese making. What do they do?
So this is where the milk goes in. So the milk will go in these tanks to start the Wensum White making process. So we can hold about 300 litres in one of these tanks. So we'll make put 300 litres of milk in here, and then they go and get transferred into the ice cube trays, as you call them,
Yes.
to start the draining off process of the whey leaving the curd.
You can hear it because you can hear it dripping off all the time. This constant drip, 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 drip of the whey. That's right, isn't it? The whey.
Correct. Yeah.
Leaving the curd. It's extraordinary because you must have this going all around the world.
Yeah, the cheeses are very popular. If you're fortunate enough to turn left on some of the aeroplanes and you can then eat our cheese at 30,000 feet as you're flying across the world, or pub chains and
Excellent.
All over.
Nice. It's the amount of work and the amount of scheduling involved in something like this, just to keep those orders met. You know, you're meeting your own, I assume, your own needs in the shop and the cafe, as well as all your global customers.
Well, yeah, we've got, there's a lot that's going through the goat shed. It's one of our best-selling products, but also it's supplying those local customers that have been with us from day one. So the cheese man on Norwich Market and Gerald's and people like that have been with us every step of the journey. We want to keep those guys up to speed, keep them fully stocked and let them have it, because they're our shop window as well as people further afield.
Yeah, fantastic. Right, what are we going to look at next?
So should we just look at some finished cheeses in the fridge here?
Yes.
And see the Norfolk Mardler once it comes out of the press.
This is the sort of fridge Boris Johnson hides in. Oh, on a day like today, when it is absolutely roasting hot outside, I cannot tell you how nice it is to be in this fridge.
Hottest day of the year.
Fantastic so far, yeah.
Surrounded by cheese. So this is Norfolk Mardler as it's coming out.
It's big, huge, like sort of a
20-kilo block
cushion, double cushion depth of goat's cheese. And you say you got some of the more yellowy ones on the.
So Norfolk Mardler, when it's waxed, is the yellow one over there.
Very nice, absolutely. These squares, these beautiful squares of as you say, canary-coloured goat's cheeses, and you're holding a bar of Wenson White with the World Cheese Awards Super Gold 2014-15.
Yeah, so we were fortunate enough to win Super Gold at the World Cheese Awards for the Wenson White, which is a fantastic achievement for our small but mighty team all those years ago.
Yeah, and you've obviously stayed in the vein of being mighty. I mean, we're going to come on to how big or small you are, but one of the things that in the east of England never ceases to amaze me, that you can go down any small little lane and you will find a business like yours that's going absolute gangbusters and trading around the world and locally. Doing fantastic business. And, one of the things I've found, and I don't know if you find this, is we're very good at telling the world outside the east of England what we're doing. But internally, that story sometimes never quite makes it within ourselves. And I don't think we're as proud of ourselves as a region, as Norfolk and Suffolk and Cambridgeshire, Essex, as we should be. But you're doing amazing work and Super Gold Award-winning cheeses from the heart of Norfolk. It's brilliant.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it's good people like yourselves that are helping us shout about everything that is going on in the eastern region. So yeah, good on you as well.
Oh, thank you very much. I haven't won Super Gold at anything yet, but there's still time. So you've got this. What's this? I was intrigued by this. It looks like this. Going back to the baths. It's something a baby elephant might feel quite at home having taken.
So this is our cheese vat. So this is the vat that we make Norfolk Mardler cheese in. This one is holding about 5,000 litres of milk. So it is quite a big piece of kit, but it does everything that we need it to do. It stirs the milk for us and allows us to then get on with other jobs at the same time.
So do you want to just give a shout out to your incredibly hard-working team in here?
Yeah, so we've got Sam over there at the back there. Give us a wave, Sam.
Hello, Sam. That's all right.
And Alex here.
Hi, Alex.
So yeah, these are the guys that are working tirelessly from 4 or 5 o'clock this morning to to make this cheese.
You know, they're not batted an eyelid. They're just carrying on going. Just this weird bloke wanders in, starts spouting on with Sam. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Oh, the cakes are probably melting a little bit, but you're very welcome to a piece of cake if you wish. There's strawberry shortcake, there's strawberry shortcake, there's coffee and walnut, there's Victoria sponge, there's carrot cake, there's all sorts.
Do you know what? I'll have a scone actually. I'm
Cheese or
sucker
fruit?
for a scone. Fruit, please.
Fruit? Ollie, can we please have one fruit?
Yes.
With jam and cream?
Yes, please. Go on.
Coffee or tea or
Coffee, please. Just a black coffee, Americano.
black coffee?
Yeah.
I'll have a tea, please, and a strawberry shortbread cake.
Yeah.
One of those. Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please. And maybe a couple of lemonades, just because it's hot.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
We'll
Right.
sit down here somewhere.
As there's a picture of you and is that the manager?
So yeah, that's Sophie, our
Yeah.
goat shed manager.
Sort of with your official goat shed rugby shirts.
That's it.
Pointing at the back. It's a very proud place here in the fantastic Goat Shed Cafe. You've got a lovely little sort of wood burner at the end with lots of all sort of ready for winter and the
Yeah, far too hot.
the
this
cold
time
weather.
of year.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
So muddy stilettos.
Muddy stilettos.
Start with muddy
yeah.
stilettos.
Muddy stilettos was we were really chuffed to get Muddy stilettos. So we were finalists and then won the award for the best farm shop or deli in Norfolk.
Yeah.
We were really surprised because the quality of the people we were up against was phenomenal, and hands down they have some fantastic businesses, but that aside, for our team, the recognition of winning the Muddy Stilettos Best Farm Shop and Deli in Norfolk was just something else. It just makes all the hard work worthwhile. It makes them feel even more valued than they are already, and it's another feather in the cap for them. So yeah, really chuffed to get it. And Honingham Buck, just down the road,
Yes,
the other side of the main road, they got the best destination pub as well. So it's all happening in Honingham.
It is. What's not to like? And because you've got the Food Enterprise Park,
Just up the road.
Just up the road. I mean, there'll be lots of people, I think, nipping out, coming here for meetings, I would think, and so they should be.
We do see quite a lot of business breakfasts, which is great.
Yes, excellent.
So, and our goat breakfast is very, very popular with the business community first thing in the morning. It's sort of.
I bet, and it was Clark Willis who we'll hear from in another edition of Eastern Promise where we're touring the Food Enterprise Park. But it's Clark Willis who first actually said, "Have you been to the Goat Shed?" And I said, "No, I haven't." So literally finished my meeting, jumped in the car, came around here. That was the first thing I did, and that was the first time I'd sampled this place, tried this place out just as a regular punter, and was very, very impressed. And I'm not just saying that because you sat here and I'm recording it. And you've got tell me about the Deli Awards as well, because you're finalists in that now, or has that moved on since the? Yeah,
we're finalists in the farm shop and deli awards for best farm shop in East Anglia. So we were pipped to the post in that one by the Grundishberg dog. But again, another fantastic business that popped up in COVID. So again, testament to the team to make it that far, and
absolutely,
and just to be acknowledged is everything. But to make it to the finals is
just
really,
just to be in the mix, as you say, is an honour. But to get that that close to the brass ring, as it were, wow, and for such a business that's come so far, as you say, certainly to this extent, in a relatively short span of time.
Yeah, it's only been 18 months, and
really, only 18 months.
What the team have achieved in 18 months is nothing short of phenomenal. And it's exciting to now see what they can achieve in the next 18 months, which is really what looking forward to now.
Yeah. Do you have any plans you can share, or is it all sort of shrouded in mystery, or is it still developing?
No, it's still very much developing. It's still early days for us. You know, we're still building our team. We've got some new appointments that we've just made. We've just got a new general manager started and a new marketing person started who are both excellent. And we're really excited that they've hit the ground running. They've got some fantastic ideas, and we're looking forward to rolling some of those out. Some will be very short term, and then some are there for the longer term as well. Look at this. Thank you, Ollie.
Yeah, no problem. You don't want that, please.
No, thank you. Yeah, I do. Yeah, just a little. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Look at that.
That's a cake and a half.
That is a
I'd say that's a
strawberry
cake and a half, but clearly it's more than a cake and a half.
Strawberry shortbread cake.
Yeah,
What about
strawberry shortbread cake.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's
So it is.
Oh, is it on the topping? Yeah.
Yeah, strawberry shortbread on the top, and yeah.
Ah, sorry.
Try some.
Oh, go on then. Now this is a new departure for Eastern Promise. Never before have I done sort of live taste tests of. So are these all made on the premises?
Everything is made on site. Yep.
Oh, that's good. That's the taste of summer right there. Oh, very nice. Thank you very much.
Yep. So we make all the cakes on site. all the cakes made on site. All the sausage rolls, scones made fresh daily on site here. All the meats and everything that we use come from Swannington. Again, just over the road there. So you can have sausage and bacon for breakfast, and then go and buy it from the shop.
Yeah, if you like to take you home,
absolutely.
Now I have to ask this because I'm insatiably curious about stuff. But do you go out, not in an underhand or covert way, but do you go out and sample other, go to visit other businesses in the same field here, outside the region, or other places in the region to see how they're doing and what you can learn and is that the kind of thing you do, or is it you just focus on the goat shed?
No, totally. We'll go and see people from all across the country, as well as locally, and we have some really good working relationships with other local farm shops, because let's not forget that we're supplying a lot of them with cheese.
Yeah.
And for us, it's all about supporting the local community. We're not in competition with them. We're here to support them wherever we can and share our experiences with them as well, because they've got a lot more experience than we have. So they'll have tried something, and if we're going to go and try it, we can ask them, and then they'll tell us where they've gone wrong, or what was a success, and we'll share that level of information with people that come here to see us as well. So it's we go down, and we really like the guys down at Goodies Farm Shop and Friday Street Farm Shop a little bit further afield, but then you go further afield as well, and there's some fantastic farm shops all across the country. There really are.
I had a feeling that would be your approach. I was interested to hear you sort of put voice to it. And one thing, this is an excellent cup of coffee, by the way. I'm not just saying that, it is easy to get wrong. I couldn't get it right, but
our own blend of beans as well, goat shed blend.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I hadn't pegged that, but thank you for telling me, because it makes you still think, oh, I must pick some up. You are, and I'll say this again, evidently so proud of the team you've built. What is, and you've just extended the team. What do you bring to the recruitment process? What are you looking for that you evidently keep on finding again and again and again?
So I think we're looking for a certain skill set, obviously. So people have to be able to do the job that we're employing them to do. But equally, they have to have the right mindset, the right attitude, and the right values. So they have to be able to work hard, but equally, they need to play hard as well. They have to have that fun-loving sense of humour. They must have that that eagerness to give the customer the experience that they desire and that we wish to give the customer. And ultimately, they've got to be a team player.
Yeah.
They have to fit in with the team. They have to be able to laugh and joke with us and our customers as well, because they're the face of our business, and they take their own personal responsibilities and they take it personally if something goes wrong. And everyone makes mistakes, but as long as we learn from them, which they do, it's not a problem.
Absolutely, yeah.
And but I cannot emphasize enough how great each and every one of them are, and they all have their separate roles to play, but they're all fulfilling those roles 110%, and then as a team we've created this, and it's great that word of mouth is still bringing people here that say they haven't been before. Every day we get people that haven't been before, and it's down to the people. We're constantly being commented and congratulated on the team of guys that are here serving and working. It really is great.
I mean, you're quite modest, if I may say so, but I can imagine that would give you personally no small sense of satisfaction that you pick the right people, and that those comments come back time and time again.
That's what gives me the biggest buzz. That's where the adrenaline rush comes. It's not through selling loads and loads of packets of cheese or bags of tea or whatever it might be, apples. It's when someone stops you and says, that person that just served me is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, or you get the email that says thank you, and they all go above and beyond, and that's really what makes it worthwhile. Yeah. And seeing them achieve and seeing them progress is so satisfying for myself and the team, my wife as well.
So does your wife have a role in the business? What's her name? Sorry.
Caroline.
Does she have a role in the business, or she sort of?
Yeah. So Caroline's joined the business. We have our sort of separate areas that we look after, but I think there's a saying that behind every great man is an even greater woman.
That's certainly true in my case. Certainly,
it's definitely true in my case. Except, she's phenomenal in her own right. But when you put her in here with this environment and this group of people, she's really excelling, and our business has changed since she joined it. There she is upstairs walking across the office there. We can just see her, see her coming in there, and but she's in the office now with us, and she's really bringing the systems, the procedures, all the paperwork side of stuff up to speed and where we need it to be, and making sure the team have everything that they need to carry out their roles properly.
So the one thing we've not talked about is take me back to the very start of this for you, and how how you all got on this crazy cheese making train, if I can put it like that. Because we talked about things that won Super Gold in 2014-15. Where did it all begin?
Okay, so I was born on a farm at Whackton near Long Stratton 40 years ago next week. Mm-hmm. And all I ever wanted to do was farm. But my grandfather sold the farm when I was about 5 years old. And if I wanted to do it, I had to go and do it in my own right. My parents bought me a Jersey cow when I was about 12 years old. So I managed to buy and sell calves and milk the cow by hand and strain the milk through a muslin like my grandparents did, and then sell it to my mum and then drink it on my cornflakes at breakfast time before school. I'd then go off to school and do all of that, and then came back, left school at 15. School wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. I went off to agricultural college and did that. Did 2 years at Writtle and then 3 years at Harper Adams, And then I came home and took a job selling poultry equipment.
Yeah.
But all I wanted to do really was farm. So I kept looking at routes to get into agriculture, and then stumbled across goats. And Caroline and I went on holiday. William, our son, was 3 months old, and we came home with 10 goats, and started to make a little bit of cheese. And then it's just snowballed from there. So we then made more and more and more cheese. We were doing farmers markets, about 18 farmers markets a month, going all the local ones into London, and then into wholesalers and pubs and farm shops, delis, you name it. You know, if someone asked for it, they could have it.
Yeah.
And that was the philosophy, and it's still very much the philosophy now. If you'd like our cheese, you can have our cheese. If you want something in here, we'll try and find it for you. You know, it's instilled in the team here that, you know, if your customer wants it, we'll try and do it. So, yeah, it sort of grew and grew from those 10 goats, and it's just snowballed to what it is today, really, which is crazy when you think that was 10, 12 years ago, that those 12 years ago, those goats were here.
Yeah.
We weren't even making cheese. But what a short period of time, really.
So can I ask, where did you go that meant you came back with 10 goats?
Cumbria.
Cumbria?
Yeah.
And something like that.
So yeah, we went to Cumbria and came home with 10 goats. Yeah.
Can't help but thinking somewhere like Cumbria, Norfolk might be a bit of a shock for a goat. But no, they certainly seem to be thriving out there. They look very happy. I can see them from the window in the cafe. And the aforementioned goat castle. So, do you do any kind of sort of any special events here, either in the restaurant or the shop or the farm?
So we had the Christmas barn, and we've had some burger evenings and burger in the barn. We've had some quiz nights and things. So yeah, we're. It's not something that we've majored on, because our team are working hard during the day to then ask them to come in and work hard all evening. But we've done some events for organisations. So we've held events for the local council. We've held events for schools or various groups. But the team get a buzz from that every now and again. But I think if we were to do it every night, we'd then need a day team and a night team. Yeah. And it's too much. It's not what we're about.
No. I think you that flexibility you're describing is very valuable, to be able to respond to demand, but also know where your core business lies and keep the interests of your team very much at heart.
Absolutely. I think really, for me, the Goat Shed is all about supporting the local producer, supporting the local community, and supporting the Norfolk rural communities as a whole. So with all of that in mind, if there's any producers that we don't stock, we'd like to hear from them. If there's any businesses that would like to get involved with what we're doing, we'd like to hear from them. If there's anyone that we can help, we'd like to help. We just want to be involved with everybody and everything where we can. You know, we don't have bottomless pots of money to sponsor everyone for everything. But what we do have is a great team that can have time and go and do tastings or talks, you know, present to school about where your food comes from and all that sort of stuff that is important, and it's only right that business should put that back into the community as well, really.
Sam and his team, both goat and human, gave me a very warm welcome, and I'm so grateful for their hospitality. For more information, visit fieldingcottage.co.uk. I can confirm that the cakes at the Goat Shed Cafe are out of this world. I can also confirm that this is a clunky and obvious link to our next feature, the Agri-Tech E and Norfolk Suffolk Unlimited Showcase for the applications and implications for agriculture from the technology of space.
Julian Munson of the New Anglia Local Enterprise Partnership, absolutely with you foursquare on the ambition to build a space cluster in Norfolk and Suffolk. You've got the launch of the space strategy for those two counties coming up very, very shortly. Have I encapsulated your aim for today? And what more do you want to add?
Thanks, Mike. Look, we're really excited by the opportunity to build a cluster here. I think we don't talk about the space sector enough in our neck of the woods in Norfolk and Suffolk, and I think the more we talk about it, the more we see companies coming out of the woodwork who are involved in space tech, satellite applications, involved in other sectors that are using the technologies that are coming from space. And I think this is the thing we want to do. We want to have a joined-up conversation with business, with industry, with research, academia, with government, and really build a strong ecosystem in our region. And importantly, we're building relationships with the UK Space Agency, with ESA, the European Space Agency, the Satellite Applications Catapult. We've got some exciting plans that are bubbling away at the moment, which there will be some announcements on in the coming weeks, particularly in relation to sectors like Agri-Tech. And this is why we're here today, to support this event. So yeah, and the 10th of March is our kind of real kick-off launch event. So that's at Adastral Park. So we'll look forward to kind of maybe talking a bit more and promoting that more as we move forward.
What an exciting time to be on the ground floor at something like this.
It is. I mean, people talk a lot about space in the UK, and there's some established clusters in the UK. People talk a lot about Cornwall and Scotland. There's a lot of focus on launch. For us in the east of England, it's probably more about the downstream applications. We have some launch opportunities here with companies like Gravity Lab. So we're working closely with them to talk about microgravity launch opportunities. But actually, it's the downstream applications which we get particularly excited about. It's the application of technology to things like Agri-Tech, to marine science, to offshore energy, all of the sectors that we are very strong in as a region, and we're very strong clusters. So if we can kind of join the dots on some of that and promote the tech and the space applications to support the growth of those sectors, then that's going to grow the economy.
Eastern Promise, absolutely foursquare behind that ambition, as I say. Julian Munson, the best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Tell me your name first of all, because I'm going to pronounce that and get it completely wrong.
It's Brian Zielinski-Smith.
Brian Zielinski-Smith of Gravity Lab, based at the former RAF Coltishall site.
Correct.
And we saw you in the space safari that we sort of moonwalked our way through earlier. And what a fascinating story of using microgravity, not for multiple applications, not just for Agri-Tech. But what kind of story do you want to convey to the people at this Agri-Tech event today?
Really, that testing in a lab is no longer the stopping point for your development. What you can do now is you can access a lab environment, but access that lab environment free from gravity. And by utilising the services that Gravity Lab offer, you can then access space environments and microgravity environments free from gravity and free from the constraints that you would have within a Earth-based laboratory.
And that's to see what effect that taking away of gravity can have to bring things back down to Earth. We're not talking about just, looking at things in orbit. We are talking about taking out gravity. What does that do, and how can we apply that back on Earth?
Yeah, correct. So by removing gravity, you can unlock a lot of potential for further developments. So you can look at how protein crystallizes and how you can speed that process up by removing, say, gravity. You can look at how materials form or degrade quicker, because you can also accelerate the life of things within a space environment. So you can see what the reaction of over a period of time is, but in shorter duration, so you don't have to have that long duration cycle here on Earth. And you can develop a lot of materials, you can do a lot of interesting physics fundamentals and that research in space, which you cannot do here on Earth because it's on Earth. This is where gravity is omnipresent, so it's always around us. So by removing that constant, you then unlock a world of potential to unleash new products, new services, new ideas, new innovations, and bringing that back down to Earth to then better our life on Earth.
Well, you can't get better than that. If people want to find out more about Gravity Lab, where should they go?
Well, they can go to gravitylab.space, and that's Gravity Lab, GARVITI lab.space. Go there, have a look, get in contact.
Professor Ian Parry, and I'm going to get this right, Super Sharp Space Systems. There you go. We saw a fantastic video, and it's still playing now on your laptop here, of basically a telescope in space folding itself out from, I would imagine, a much smaller size than it started. So tell us more about Super Sharp Space Systems.
Okay, we spun out of Cambridge University because I'm from the Institute of Astronomy, actually, so I'm interested in telescopes because I want to point them at the sky. But I realized that to develop the technology, it would be good to start thinking about applications where you turn the telescope around and point it at the ground. So that's how I got involved in spinning out a company which is providing technology for Earth observation. And I'm here at the Agri-Tech event today because it has applications for precision agriculture.
There are some really fascinating applications. You demonstrated, for example, crops. You'd be able to detect by satellite which crops needed proper irrigation. They weren't getting enough water. You also, I mean, Belinda can't hear me, so I'm going to stray slightly from the brief. But military applications, climate change applications, and we were talking to the Tyndall Climate Research Institute only yesterday about climate change, as you would imagine, and. What is there doesn't seem to be much of a limitation. Are there any limitations?
There's definitely a very large, widespread range of applications for this. I mean, another one that you didn't mention there is wildfires as well.
Indeed.
So, we're just to be clear, our technology is focused on thermal infrared imaging. So it's not the normal imaging you would do with your eyes or with your camera. It's heat mapping imaging. So it's the sort of thermal cameras that people were using to try and spot people who had COVID, for example, that kind of thing, where you can spot a hot person with a camera that's basically sensitive to heat. So a picture with our camera basically tells you the temperature of every little pixel in the image. That's why we have all these different applications where you're looking for temperature differences or heat generation. So it does have a lot of applications. Yeah.
So whereabouts in Cambridge are you based?
Wearing my university hat, I'm based at the Institute of Astronomy. Mm-hmm. Wearing my company hat, we're based just outside Cambridge in Waterbeach.
How many sort of points of articulation? How long does it take you to get something folding out of a box like that? I mean, obviously in space there's not much not much in the way of friction, but how much kind of investment to get that kind of miniaturization and telescoping technology?
The investment, roughly speaking, we think we're going to get our technology in space for a demonstration for perhaps something like £5 million.
Yeah.
Right, that's the sort of level of investment. And until we've got it working in space, it's difficult to get people to fully believe that it's going to work and then invest in it. But we hope that when it works, it's going to be quite a disruptive technology and people will go, oh my goodness, this is really cool. But until you get it in space and take pictures from space, you haven't quite got to that stage. Yeah. So about 5 million, we think, to get us to that important milestone. Yeah.
Well, it looks fascinating. You've got so much detail here, and we need that kind of data. We need that kind of information to tell us about all the things you highlighted. But in an agricultural field, we're at a place where the Earth is getting hotter. We need to make sure we can get the crops we need out of the ground, and we won't always be able to. It can't all be about vertical farms and underground farming like they have in London. We are still going to need to grow things in fields. So this is vital. Professor Ian Parry, thank you for listening to me whitter on a bit there, and all the best to you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Well, here I am with ground control on this. We've had the Space Safari. What a wonderful networking idea to get around all these companies doing such amazing things, and they're coming to share that news with us. Belinda Clarke, Dr. Belinda Clarke, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for putting this on. What was the inspiration for this?
I think for a number of years, actually, we've been struck by the fact that there isn't a farm that isn't using space technology in some form, whether to steer tractors or to track machinery or livestock or monitor crops. And it felt like there was a really interesting interface where space tech can meet agri-tech. And then the new Anglia LEP has some really exciting aspirations for a space tech cluster. So it was a no-brainer that we would put this event on together to really explore what could we do in that interface.
It seems to me very much that you sort of scratch the surface, and then you suddenly realise that the number of companies working in the space, and that must as well as providing a lot of inspiration for a day like this, that must not only make you feel really good about the sector you're working in, but give a lot of opportunities for Agri-Tech to really shine a light on those businesses.
Absolutely. One of the things we've been doing over the last year is looking at other sectors that have got technologies that we can apply in agriculture, and space tech is a great example of that. I think one of the speakers today said, space tech is just aeroplanes that go really, really high. And being able to just mine the opportunities and find that common ground for where Agri-Tech can look into the space sector to go, do you know what? We've got some really major challenges here and you can help us, is just a fantastic, exciting thing to do.
And it's exciting to be at the early stages of building a cluster, because you really know you've really got the opportunity to sort of build it the way you want to build it and have it be of the benefit you want it to have. And for someone like yourself who has this kind of across the region brief, a bit slightly wider than perhaps the LEP does, what extra added value does that have, that ability to look slightly wider than just Norfolk and Suffolk, but across to Cambridgeshire and Essex as well, and all other parts?
Yeah, I mean, we've got members from all over the world at Agri-Tech E, but you're right, our roots, pun intended, are very much in the east of England. And yeah, I mean, the company that we're standing next to here, Sharp Systems, that's a spin-out for the University of Cambridge. We also have the Lincoln Agri-Robotics capability again, and the Space Safari. So that wider perspective, no man is an island and no county has it all. In fact, no country has it all. And this is an area where we need global collaboration, as we were hearing from one of the speakers today. It's a race, but it's not against each other. It's against what we've done to the planet and how we can harness a more sustainable space industry to create a more sustainable agri-tech industry.
What's next for Agri-Tech? Where are you going next from this? How are you growing out from this?
So we have our busy events schedule. So we'll be doing a lot of other events, including Space Tech. What we would like to do is to pick up on some of the conversations we've been having today to see how we can get some actionable insights on farm, because it's always very easy to get really excited about the technology, but what does that mean for the farmers? So really digging a bit deeper, again, pun intended, as to what the impact could be on farm is, I think, something we're going to be looking at with some of the speakers we've heard today.
Well, it's agri-tech-e.co.uk if you want to find out more. Belinda Clarke, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. My thanks to Belinda, Julian, and all the attendees. And we look forward to the East of England leading the way on marrying stardust with the salt of the earth. And now, hidden treasure. Our region is in many ways a hidden treasure. The journey here can often seem long and foreboding. The A14 is a harsh and unforgiving mistress, though slightly more forgiving since the upgrade. Unless, of course, you choose public transport and dare the Maelstrom, or Liverpool Street Station. Unless you're going to King's Lynn, then it's the King's Cross Kraken. But it's all worth it, for there is much treasure to be found here, and much of it is still hidden, known only to a mere few who are blessed with much wisdom. And they have shared that knowledge with us now, in this week's
CROWDSOURCERY.
Yes, CROWDSOURCERY. 'Tis the year 2023, and I write down these words, these particulars about our region, from the beginning to the end, keeping nothing back, not even the bearings of our region, for there is still treasure here, not yet lifted. And so we find motorcycling historian and Greater Thetford Partnership Manager at Breckland Council, Captain Jack Weaver, not an actual captain, who rightly flies the flag for Thetford. Leader of Breckland Council, Sam Chapman-Allen shared with Eastern Promise his huge enthusiasm for the town, which is truly a hidden gem and a beautiful place to be. And Jack reminds us of the episode of Eastern Promise following that interview with Sam Chapman-Allen, where Jack and I shine a light on the town. starting with a coffee at the Light Cinema, then walking along the river down to Nuns Bridges and the British Trust for Ornithology. We cross the river and take in the impressive Iron Age castle Motte Bailey. Then we meander up the side streets for a coffee and cake in the town centre, before heading over to the hidden gems of the Charles Burrell Museum, Ancient House Museum, and the unique and awe-inspiring Priory Ruins. Jack also draws on his passionate obsession with military history, shining a searchlight on the Muckleborough collection on the North Norfolk coast, with well over 100 military vehicles and countless artefacts, weapons and equipment. All a private collection. And, says Jack, the soup was pretty good too. Couple that with a trip to the RAF Radar Museum at Netishead on the way home, and you've got yourself a packed weekend of Anorackery, says Jack. Thank you, Jack, for the unsolicited plug, and you can find both our tour and my chat with Councillor Sam Chapman-Allen either in your Eastern Promise podcast feed or by going to easternpromise.podbean.com and searching for Thetford. We're Suffolk bound next with Barry Hayter, Head of Sales and Marketing at Electronic Terminations and Roland Plastics, the Roland Group. Electronic Terminations, sounds grisly. It has to be Woodbridge Historic Riverside, Wissocks Place, says Barry. You have the Art Club, Tide Mill Living Museum, Woodbridge Museum, and the Longshed, building a full-size Sutton Hoo ship replica. When you need a break, there's Coffee Link, Woodyard (delicious pizza), and the Boathouse Restaurant. Finish it off with a sunset walk along the river. Barry, Woodbridge is very much on my to-visit list. It was enticing before, and thanks to your brilliant photo of the sun setting over Woodbridge, it's doubly so now. Finally, our star of not 2 weeks back, John Gordon Saker, Executive Director of the History of Advertising Trust, Chair of Norwich Film Festival, and Board Member of Norwich Bid, says, well, clearly, with 10 million items in the archive, it has to be the History of Advertising Trust. I couldn't agree more, John. Again, thank you for the unsolicited reminder of episodes past and much enjoyed. Thank you to all my crowdsourcerers. Next week, because apparently I can't read a calendar, we will be a week late with our recommendations for the most romantic spot in the east of England. Try to look on it as either emergency help for those who forgot the day, or me being really punctual for next year. Thank you again to Sam Steggles for the warm welcome, excellent coffee, and for rekindling my love of goat's cheese. Thank you too to Engineer 49. Now, here's a fun fact. Yes, it is fun. Once a month, whenever we go our separate ways, I have to stand at the roadside and gesticulate wildly for about 5 minutes as Engineer 49 drives away. Has to be once a month, can't be anything less than 5 minutes. He loves anything that's a long wave frequency. Oh, what? There's more where that came from. Did you know, on the rare occasions he buys an expensive coffee, it's never tall or grande, always midi. Yes, well. Most of all, I truly appreciate your company. Please do get in touch and tell me what you think of the show and what you'd like to hear more of. Email me at mike@easternpromise.site. mike@easternpromise.site. Next week, I'll be chatting with former diplomat, trade and investment expert, and one of the loveliest people it's been my privilege to interview, Harriet Fear, MBE. We'll be chatting about her career, her work with our health tech and life science communities to attract foreign direct investment to our region, and how she's continuing that work as the Chief Executive of Cambridge And, which aims to bring large international companies into our ecosystem. But that's not all. I'll also be bringing you the skinny, the scoop, and what our American cousins call the 411 on the East of England All-Party Parliamentary Group, direct from their latest meeting in the Mother of Parliaments. Not one to miss. Oh, my life, I'm already excited. Until then, bye for now.